welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, January 18th, 2018. Disclaimer quickly, trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you've had a great week so far. It's a busy Thursday morning with lots going on, the kickoff of earnings season and the back and forth debate that's going on about the possible government shutdown tomorrow. So lots to be paying attention to for sure. But with that, let's get into today's video. I always start off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall, and my thinking on that is if I had to choose an index to be my guide and keep things simple, I choose the Russell because I deem the components of the Russell to be more interest rate sensitive, meaning that those companies would more likely be borrowers of money than perhaps those components in the Dow and the S&P. So as long as the Russell is moving higher, I am adding new names to my watch list. When the Russell moves lower, I am tightening stops and taking action appropriately in that scenario. So let's get into the chart. Start off with the 5-year monthly. These are the monthly candles. We were keeping an eye on this wedge pattern that took place through just about all of 2017. And then we had this bullish candle in September that pushed us up and over our black diagonal line that was resistance. But with this push through, it became support. And the following monthly candles have held steady up and over our black diagonal line. So here's the candle shaping up for the month of January so far. So far, a bullish looking candle. We flagged this one last month saying it was a little bit of an undecided candle, doji, at an area that was important. So we wanted to see some follow through either to the upside or downside, and we got upside. So here we are with this nice bullish looking candle so far for the month of January. Having said that, we've got a lot of the month to go. So we'll see how it plays out. Going to move it away from the monthly to the weekly. Here's the same black diagonal line. Here's last week. Here's where we are this week. We've got a bit of a wick shaping up. We had some volume come in last week. So far the scenario remains a bullish one. Price up and over the blue line, which is the 8-day EMA, which I use as my guide. This is the weekly chart, so it's up and over the 8-day on the weekly. And let's switch it over to the daily. Here we are on the daily. You can see that it's up and over price is up and over the 8-day EMA on the daily as well. So we had an inside day yesterday, meaning that the candle started and finished inside of the previous candle. So today will be an important one to see which direction price wants to take. But with price up and over the 8-day EMA on the Russell Index on the daily chart, we will be adding a new name to our watch list. And that new name I'm adding to my watch list this morning is Post Holdings Inc., ticker symbol POST, trades on the New York Stock Exchange. They are in the consumer good, consumer staples sector. Before I get into the chart, let me tell you a little bit more about the company. I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with this company. It's Post Cereals. They are the manufacturer, marketer, and distributor of these branded ready-to-eat cereals in the United States and Canada. You know, at Chart of the Day Cafe, I am all about the fundamentals underneath my charts, and Post has an excellent value score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 28%, a current PE of 21.52, and it does not pay a dividend. Normally I look for dividend payer, but I really like the look of this chart, so I am choosing Post as my pick for today. So with that, let's get into the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly. As you can see, overall on the 5-year uptrend and been consolidating. So it's been trading sideways for a number of years, but I think it looks interesting in this area and may be poised for a breakout. We'll see. Break higher. An emphasis on May. We will see. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 2-year weekly so you can better see how it's been bouncing around this orange line. It made a low over here. It's making another low in this area, but I really like the chart construction around the weekly over here. So let's get into this area here. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 3-month daily chart. So if you're familiar with me and my videos, then you know it's all about price being up and over this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. But I love the base building that happened here around support. the lift off that area, the pop up with volume, and now it's come in to settle right in an area. I'm going to do another really thin line of support to say that this area looks pretty interesting to me. So I will be looking for post to probably dance around this area here, but I want to see some lift in the days to come, and I will be monitoring this one for that look that I like to see. I'm going to zoom in to show you, which is a 3 and 8 cross. So I like to see the 3 EMA move up and over the blue. We currently do have that cross. If you look closely, we got it over here, but it was still base building in that area. So I'm kind of liking it better in this area. So although we still have that 3 and 8 cross with the pink over the blue, I want to see some mojo come into this chart and some lift in this area off this really minor area of support. So keeping an eye on post in this area. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in. So for that, I'm looking at XLP, which is the ETF for the consumer staples sector. 5-year monthly chart, beautiful uptrend, and still continuing to show that strength. I'm going to zoom into this area here because I want you to take a look at something that I notice. We had a little breakout on this ETF. So we had this consolidation and a breakout, a nice clean breakout to the upside yesterday, which would bode well for the components of that sector. So that's why I am zeroing in on post. Also, I also like to take a look at seasonality. And for that, I go over to equityclock.com, a really amazing site. I can't say enough about it. I couldn't find a specific seasonal chart for post, but I want you to see the seasonal chart for the consumer staples sector overall coming into some strength at this time of year. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always kind of nice to know. I also like to take a look at FinViz to see if I've got analyst support for my new watch list pick. So we're looking at FinViz. Let me see if I can get this into my screen. Sorry about that. Zoom. There we go. So if I can get it over there. So if you scroll down, you will see that Post has some very positive analyst opinions, although they are dated like middle of last year, not too recent, but I like to see that. Also, if you scroll down further, you're going to note some recent articles about Post. I'm going to include one of them with today's video in the show notes. It's by the Motley Fool, dated November 17th of last year, talking about how acquisitions are driving growth at Post Holdings. So all good things to know when you're studying this chart. And so to review, I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the market is in an uptrend with price currently up and over that 8-day EMA on the daily chart. We looked at the sector that Post is in, XLP, in a strong uptrend on the 5-year chart, and we noted that yesterday we had that little breakout from that area of consolidation. We looked at the chart for Post. It's been consolidating sideways for the last 2 years, but it looks as though it may want to lift from this area. We looked at the smaller time frame chart and we noticed the base building. It might be an area where price possibly, emphasis on possibly, picks up from here. My thinking being with the scores underneath it and that growth catalyst with the Motley Fool article, it's one to keep an eye on for sure. It's got a good value score. It's got a good growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate of 28% going forward. I don't have this checked because it does not pay a dividend. It currently does have that 3 and 8 cross, but as I illustrated in today's video, I want to see some pickup on the daily chart from here. It's got seasonality in its favor. It's got analyst support, a current PE of 21.52, and it looks as though earnings are on February 1st. I just wanted to provide this quick update on some of the other charts that we've featured in the month of January so far. The first one was NetEase, which we put forward. It was our chart of the day featured chart in this green circle day here at this area of support. I was anticipating lift up and over my 8-day EMA, which I did not get. So this one has not triggered yet, but I am still keeping an eye on it. I love the scores on NetEase. The second one is the chemical company, Chemours. This was our featured chart day at this area of support. We had that lift up and over the 8-day EMA, so this one is looking good. And finally, MU, which we featured on Tuesday. We had this little candle. We had the lift where we anticipated it, so it is starting to lift up and over that 8-day EMA. Whatever you use as your trigger, I use a 3 and an 8 EMA cross for the purposes of Chart of the Day Cafe. So we are starting to get that nice look with MU. We will keep an eye on it in the days ahead. Thank you for watching today's video, and if you liked it, please give it a like on YouTube and subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button on my YouTube homepage. Mine's white because I'm already a subscriber, but yours will be red if you are not. We've got a whole library of past videos that I've put forward. These ones, recently this one was from Tuesday. This one is looking very good so far, as is Kimor's CC, which we featured the week before. Also worth noting, at the end of each day, I will take a look at the charts, and if there's anything worth noting, I will put a little note here in the discussion section. With that, I'll leave you. Have a great weekend, and our next video goes out next Tuesday.